Alright, I'm back with the new Destiny 2 video. It is Exotic Quest launch day. It's not a secret. This has been known for a while now that they were going to launch this season's big Exotic Quest today. We know it's for Revision 0, the pulse rifle that has like two scopes, like you flip them around like it's in Call of Duty. And it has a bunch of catalysts. It is a highly customizable exotic. They are doing some experimentation with that. Don't worry, you do not have to grind out 5 randomly dropped patterns for it. However, there are many pieces in place to get this to kind of its max potential, I think. And you can do not really any of them today other than getting the gun itself, which you can do. So I just wanted to talk a little bit, mostly about the quest itself and what that was like. This will contain spoilers for the quest. I'm showing footage from the quest. So if you just want to go in totally blind, you shouldn't be watching this video. Okay, so this is essentially the story mission for the week, more or less. And if you're concerned about some things of this is not a timed mission, at least on normal. I don't think Legend is, but not a timed mission. You can do it solo. I don't know. I think recommended power is 1580. I'm 1595. Combat was very easy. Just using my normal heists loadout on Warlock, which is just a bunch of art crap, and Trinity Ghoul, was not difficult in that aspect. Most of the mission is kind of puzzle solving using Deepstone Crypt mechanics. This is the series of 3 buffs that you get in that raid, where if you played Deepstone Crypt, you are very familiar with these. If you have not played Deepstone Crypt, there was a little tutorial that will pop up that kind of explains the buffs to you. This is a 1 to 3 player activity, but you can run it solo. I mean, it's not hard. It just takes a little while. I think my run took 45 minutes or something in the end. And a lot of that was just kind of getting stuck on a puzzle or two and trying to figure it out, or trying to walk across a stupid microwave floor that kept killing me many times because I'm an idiot and I could not remember the correct path to walk. It is essentially just, it's like a Deepstone Crypt campaign mission, kind of, is like the best way I can describe it. And I liked it. I think it's good. It's certainly substantive content, even if it is reusing a lot of DSC concepts and assets. The plot is we're going through there to upload some sort of virus or something to the Warmind compiler. I don't know. It's a part of like keeping the things away from the Hive, and also getting Rasputin back online, but we're still doing week-to-week story mission stuff for that. It's mostly Fallen here, but there's a good amount of Hive as well. There's even some Scorn also later on, and an interesting boss fight that kind of echoes the theme of what we've been doing this season, where Xivu Arath keeps resurrecting Aramis's lieutenant as Scorn, which I don't think she's super happy about. So Praxis is the boss for this dungeon. It's essentially just a mini version of the encounter in DSC. It's in the same room of the suppressor, like just suppressor encounter where you shoot the boss 3 times and then deactivated shield, and then you can do this solo. Again, there's no like juggling 3 different buffs at a time with like a huge team. Like it's a much stripped down version of DSC mechanics. So I would describe this as very accessible to most players, and it'll take you a while solo just because it's a pretty long mission and you'll have to figure a few things out. But I wouldn't really worry about it from combat perspective. Like, just equip your best element 3.0 build and go nuts. There are not champions. There's not match game. Even in Legend mode, there are not champions, and I don't think there's match game. It's just it locks you under power, I think, is the main difference there. And then all of this will take you to eventually get the weapon itself once you clear this from Clovis, and then we will enter into a ongoing quest to upgrade this thing. There are different frames for it, which is you'll unlock different barrels and magazines and things, and then there are the catalysts, the promised multiple catalysts, which they each add an additional perk. I think maybe they do something else, but they definitely add 1 additional perk, like Outlaw or Feeding Frenzy or 4 times the Charm. So it's kind of a way, like it's a little bit like Dead Man's Tale or Hawkmoon, except you're not just farming the mission for random rolls hoping you get that one perk. There is going to be a time-gated portion of this quest where you'll be like, okay, this week you've unlocked this catalyst, and then this week you'll do this thing and unlock that catalyst. And I don't know the grand scope of all the unlocks. I know that this Revision 0 can shoot the little mystery balls that have been floating around. That has already been shown. Do not know what happens when you shoot all 50, but that could be something unlocked in terms of crafting as well. I think it's too soon for anyone to have done that yet, but I'm sure someone is working on it as we speak. The mission itself seems to contain a good amount of secrets. I ran into a bunch of Rasputin nodes up there. Those are just for, I think that's for the seasonal title, and those would give you Aikidos weapons, but then there's also locked doors that there's some sort of upgrade where it's at the helm. You will be able to open those doors with security clearance over time. Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure about the overall quests taking shape here, but at least you will get your hands on the gun today. You can use the gun. It's an interesting weapon. It has four burst fire intrinsically. It is very much based. The new ritual weapon this season, the Velez X, is the same gun. Essentially, it's a legendary version of this, except this is a primary, not a void weapon, and it has a lot of exotic stuff with it, like the ability to switch to a kind of graviton lance heavy 2-burst fire as its kind of secondary rotation with the scope switch, and then these catalysts will give it extra perks, and it has intrinsic anti-barrier, where this season every pulse rifle is anti-barrier, but once the season is over, having a permanent anti-barrier pulse primary option is good. That's a good idea. I always want more exotics that are intrinsically anti-champion, so that's good. It does seem in a lot of ways like this quest is sort of only getting started. I'm sure we've seen like the bulk of the mission. I don't think there's like elaborate secret sections of this mission that were missing or hidden bosses or anything, but it's a substantive mission. It's not 0 Hour, it's not Whisper, but it was never promised to be. It's just it's like a fusion of a story mission to further the plot along, and an exotic mission, and it's something that you can definitely do solo, and it's not like some crazy achievement to solo it like it would be soloing a dungeon or whatever. So I think everyone will probably enjoy it to a certain extent. If you're expecting something super insane, like, you might be disappointed, but the mission's fun, the gun is fun, and we'll see how the time gating works, if that's like okay or if it's annoying. At least we actually got the gun today. It would have been very bad to time gate, like, oh, this is step 1 of getting the gun, and then we have like 4 more weeks of running it and getting 5 patterns until we can actually craft it or something. So thankfully they didn't do that. You just need the 1 pattern from the 1 gun and you're good to go. So that was a good decision. But overall, I like this. I'm happy with it. I'm going to probably run it on my alternate characters right now, see if I can maybe get some of those Rasputin thingamajigs, and see what other secrets I might be able to uncover here, and try and get my times down now that I actually know what I'm supposed to be doing here in terms of the mission itself and all the puzzles and stuff. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.